Medium levels of silicon found. Low levels of water found.
Alright, some of this is acceptable and usable, but not great. I'm really tempted to just kind of do one of these, though.
You must be a rather skilled researcher yourself. I couldn't have found a more promising site even with all my years.
I'm a little nervous about this, because obviously there's a lot of map I didn't explore, but this is really good in its own way. I couldn't actually afford that. There we go. That'll help.
Medium levels of water found.
Alright, we found some water, better water down here. That's important. There are high sources of iron, so there are acceptable founding locations certainly left on this map. But it doesn't surprise me that Cubit looks like he's taking his time, a fair amount, just to try and really scope out the whole map and get a good understanding of what's going on across it.
Why? Your new design for the colony layout is simply breathtaking.
Okay, we're going to take those, and we're going to take that, actually. I just really wanted to grab up the water down here in particular. Like, try and prevent him from getting in on my water in particular was the goal. And now that we see he's thrown down steel, like that's his production, we'll just actually sell that off for a while to make sure we can secure all this extra stuff we want. Actually, I should really put down my reactors. But after that, we can sell off steel. Hopefully. And that'll be okay. Don't need to worry about the black market as much in a 1v1. 4,000 is a lot of dollars to spend. Virtual reality is okay, but not a big deal. If it goes, you know, 1,000 my way is entirely tolerable. Cubit might just let me have it because he doesn't want to take on the 2. And that's fine. I doubt I'll actually make 1,000 off of it, but just in case, it could be worthwhile. Alright, here we go, here we go. Got the reactors going down.
Scientific colony expanded.
We've got the iron coming in. We've got the steel coming in. Shouldn't be a big deal at all right now. Where is he sending all that? Alright, these two are probably going... Well, I actually don't know. Maybe he's trying to secure a lot of silicon and like this aluminum here. Things like that. Yep, that's what he's going for. A lot of silicon and grabbing up some aluminum. That's fine. That is fine. Obviously, he'll have better silicon than we do, but we'll have the better water. So it's kind of just going to be a competition between those things in particular. Alright, we're sitting on about 5,000 in resources. We could grab up a new claim. Oh, seriously? Right now? That's actually... That completely sucks. That really just sucks. Thankfully, he has no resources to commit to this immediately, but he is pulling in massive quantities of silicon right now, right? So that's where the issue lies, is the fact that he's way ahead of us on silicon production. So we're just going to hop right into it ourselves as well. And then I'm actually going to get down another aluminum mine, because that's where the money is at right now. Silicon and aluminum. Quite clearly. We are a little ahead with our electrolysis, which is making us a decent sum of money, but nowhere near these quarries in any way, and nowhere near these mines. They were just kind of a long-term play. And unfortunately, that shortage really kind of kicked the game into high gear a lot faster than I was hoping it would. Obviously, steel is worth almost nothing. Still going to leave it running for the time being because it is not costing us iron, obviously. But we will need to watch out for it, for what's going on with that in particular. Could toss down another reactor if I wanted to by grabbing a new claim before too long. Might be worthwhile. Might be. What I really would like to do is get into solar panels before too long. Yeah, he's just working on retrieving water so he can use his tiles in a normal fashion, which is fine. That's fine for us. He does have a slight claim advantage in his own way right now. It's also worth noting we have about 8,000 more debt than he does.
9,000, 12,000, 18,000.
So we need to watch out for that. Okay, 20,000. 20,000, I think we have to let the claim go. We can't quite afford 24,000, but that was the expectation. That was just what we figured would happen, so that's okay. He's getting down power, that's fine. We have a lot of steel stored up, but we need a little more. And then maybe we'll consider at that point switching into some power. Okay. Which means we actually do want quite a bit of silicon still, which is coming in just slowly. A lot more slowly than we'd want. Alright, he's transitioning to glass furnaces. We'll go ahead and do the same thing. We'll sell here. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and scrap my steel. Just get down some solar panels. For the time being. We can change them back later. It's a bit risky, especially in a
The black market is online.
1v1 scenario, but it's potentially doable. And hopefully it'll work out okay. We're just going to do this to make him respond. Ooh, he went ahead and froze me out. Okay. Well, that means we're sitting on even power about right now. Obviously, I took the wrong wind turbine. I should have taken this one because I knew it wasn't defended. Seriously? Seriously? That actually happened at this moment. Well, we're taking a huge risk by buying into this. Hopefully it pans out. He just moved back into steel mills after scrapping his steel mills. Thankfully, that cost him a significant amount of money, so... I guess we can upgrade. Yeah,
Our
let's do
growth
it.
is surpassing my most optimistic projections.
Then I can actually just even take some... I could move these into just pure water if I wanted to. I still have the better water production, potentially. I do need to get back into steel, I think, before too long, but that's okay.
The black market is online.
Go ahead and hit him with black market as well. Our solar panels are running just fine. I could take some tiles up here as solar panels. Nighttime is coming. Food would be really nice to go ahead and move on into, I think. Obviously we have to buy the water, but we can deal with that okay. Because we have access to water, we just need to use it.
3,000.
Alright, how are these doing? This is still making acceptable money, not good money, but acceptable.
9,000.
10,000, yeah.
12.
Keep going, keep going.
16,000. 18,000.
20's a lot for him to take on, and he knows it. 18 leaves me about 8k ahead in debt, so that's a significant deal in a lot of ways, how much debt I'll have once that all wears off, but... Oh, food short. Can I buy into this enough to even matter? Maybe a little bit. I don't think so, actually. I think I actually need to just sell out, because what's happening is I'm burning through food this whole time, right? I'm just constantly, for that most of that duration, I was just burning through food until my food actually came online.
The black market is online.
Food is making us a lot of money. We just need to make sure we don't completely die on power, and we'll be alright. He's getting power up as well. That's okay. He actually scrapped his glass furnaces. Might be moving those back into quarries. He is. That's okay. We can just match him again. Not a big deal. Silicon's worth an awful lot right now. Then I'm thinking what I might actually do is scrap one of these and get down a water pump. Maybe even two of them and get down water pumps. That could be alright. Getting my power mutinied. Hopefully that's alright. I can actually throw down extra power here. Oh, I'm sitting on $17,000, $22,000. Why does this keep blacking out? Oh, it's because I'm hitting shift. Okay, that makes sense. Well, you know what? We have the food production and he doesn't. He has power. So his debt's going away significantly. So we should just start this process now while we have an advantage. We both have silicon coming in, and that's all fine too. Alright, he's actually moved into iron as a source of money, and that makes perfect sense in a lot of ways. That is totally reasonable. I think what I would like to do is actually mutiny this. Now I have to be careful because my food isn't making me near as much money as I would like. I think we both bought into this a reasonable amount. Yeah, we both bought into this quite a bit, actually. He has a lot of money sitting around right now. New claim auction. That's fine. I'm a little worried about the glass situation at the moment. That's less than pleasant in a lot of ways.
16,000.
I'll actually let it go for 16. He can have that debt. To make sure that he gets the debt, sure, I'll let it go for that. Okay, we need 80,000 to finish him off, is what we're looking at. We're not doing too bad in that regard, and he's nowhere really that close to buying us out, so that's good. Transitioned back into steel again, which is making a fair amount of money now that power has completely died off. We should honestly do the same thing, except maybe we're going to do iron instead of steel. Alright, we're at 26,000-ish. I could power surge him again. Might not be a bad idea. These need to be auto-supplied. There we are. They'll be making a fair amount of money. I could even convert these over into glass as well, which I'm going to go ahead and do. Note that his steel mills are making him about $66 a second, and my iron is making significantly more at 110, even though these are all lows. But my iron will probably drop a lot faster, so I'll need to keep watching my transitions during all of that in particular. Also, I'm not selling food anymore at all because I have a goal I need to get to, so I actually want food's price to go up as high as possible because he's having to buy an awful lot of it. And that's where we want to be. What is he producing? Is he producing anything where he actually needs to acquire the resource? I don't think so. These are all auto-supplied. We can send oxygen out to all of them. One option I definitely have, now that he's putting additional glass furnaces up, is mutinying one of these. It costs 12,000, though. And so that's the question is, do I do it when it costs 12,000? I need 70,000 to finish him off. He's sitting on about 50 right now. As you can see, I have completely destroyed iron's price. But that's okay, because by destroying iron's price, I make that transition into steel extremely easy, right? Because it just cost iron. So I made my money off that iron. Now I'm making the move into steel, and I should have this wrapped up fairly easily, fairly quickly. We're going to just send all the glass right now to try and push for it. You can see he's also trying to send resources across to make it all work. He's still gathering aluminum, and we're not, which is very, very nice, because it means we have those glass furnaces down, and that's going to wrap up the game. Whew. Alright. Not bad. We got a good founding position, right? And then we took the water, and I think that was the huge deal that game, because it was water and food that made us a lot of money toward the end in particular. Also, I think Cubit made a couple mistakes. We can see 135,000 in food. That's where it was at. The oxygen and fuel didn't make us a lot of money. Part of that was because we were selling oxygen off or, you know, sending it to the glass furnaces to help with that production. Didn't make a lot on glass. Didn't make a lot on silicon. And we actually lost on steel because we went without steel production for so long, but not very much, so that was okay. And then the huge play was just we had control of the good water, and that was it. Water's a fantastic resource. It got made more valuable with this patch in particular. Water. Because water costs more, and water resources all cost double what they used to at the start of the match. So it's a lot easier to put those down a lot earlier and have them still be reasonably profitable for an extended period of time. And that's kind of what we saw here, was even though my fuel and oxygen never got to the ridiculous amounts that other things did, we still made it work, for sure. And then Cubit only made about 70,000 compared to our 180,000, I think is what it was. And I think a lot of that, like, he was selling water. Like, he had secured water, but he never got down any production with it. So he was just selling it when it was high, but that meant it was coming down, and that meant our food production was more efficient. So we ended up making money through that whole process anyway. Then he had to buy a lot of oxygen to power his glass, which is more expensive now, which is worth noting. Costs about, you know, at the start of the match, it costs you $5 more to make glass. So even though glass is worth $20 more, it's still not as much as you might expect, right? And then he made a lot of money on silicon. He was obviously in on that short at a good time. And he made a decent amount on glass and a fair amount on steel because he just stayed in steel the whole time rather than transitioning his power in the fashion that we did. So that was fine. Oh, and then how much did I actually make on iron? Yeah, we see I sold almost 13,000 worth of iron. And then this iron purchasing was just going to be putting down the aluminum, putting down the steel, putting down the iron mines. Those were all just normal things that we expected to do at that point. And a lot of it, you could say, well, if you'd put down steel in the first place, then you wouldn't have had to pay for the iron to put down the iron mine. But it's like, well, I put down an iron mine and I had to pay iron for either one of them. So that was just the transition. And we can see I made 12,000 off of iron. Like I sold almost 13,000 in iron just during that short period. And then even though I completely scrapped aluminum, I went almost even on it as well. So even though I was out of it for an extended period of time, I was still okay. And a lot of this buying was actually early on before I had any aluminum available. So I think it went well. It was a nice solid game. We got off to a good start and we just used that water advantage through the game. Fairly simple stuff. I'm going to host another 4-man. Hopefully we get